Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. After the end of the Tournament of Power, all the universes were in a great peace. However, a new danger was approaching. That's right, this danger was only for the two most powerful warriors, for Son Goku of Universe 7, who was able to reach the Ultra Instinct, and Jiren, the mortal who overcame the power of his God Destroyer. In Universe 7, everyone was beerus, talking about everything that had happened in the Tournament of Power, and the amazing power that Son Goku possessed. Mr. Beerus, are you afraid of Mr. Goku? You being the most powerful Destroyer God. Of course I'm not afraid of Son Goku, but the capacity with which he advances is incredible. Even us gods who trained for millions of years can't advance with such ease. Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. After all, Mr. Goku has a kind heart, and will never be able to do something that will harm all the universes. But at that very moment, the most powerful beings of the realm of everything had appeared in front of both deities. That's right, both Zeno-sama, Daishenkin, together with her guardians, would stand in front of Whis and Beerus. Daishenkin-sama, Zeno-sama, it's a pleasure to have you in my humble planet. Tell me, what can I do for you? In the words of Whis, they're right. That saying Goku ends with the 12 universes are very unlikely, but... At that moment, Zeno-sama would begin to speak. We must end the lives of Son Goku of Universe 7 and Jiren of Universe 11. They're extremely dangerous subjects and we cannot allow them to remain alive. Beerus and Whis would be very surprised by the words of Zeno-sama. But isn't Goku his best friend? Why does he want to end his friend's life? Do we have two alternatives, or end the life of both subjects or seal them in the room of the fallen kings? It is said that being locked in the room of the fallen kings is much more suffering than death itself. But what is the reason for all this, Zeno-sama? You must not know it, but above us, there are also much more powerful beings that even if all the universes were united, we wouldn't be able to face them. That's right, an extremely powerful god that has observed the whole Tournament of Power and has given the order to finish with both subjects, or seal them in the dimension of the fallen kings. That's impossible, and being's much more powerful than the Zeno-sama. For that same reason, we must finish with both subjects, because if we reveal ourselves to that deity, he'll finish with all of us. At that place, the beings of the King of Everything would leave again to their palace, leaving both deities of the Universe 7 surprised. After only a couple of hours, Daishenkin had requested an emergency meeting with all the gods, who came quickly. When they arrived, they all bowed. Gods, you must be wondering the reason for the emergency meeting. I'll be very quick and precise. The reason is to hunt the mortals, Goku and Jiren. All the gods would be amazed to know that, thanks to them, they were able to return to life. Daishenkin-sama, what's the reason for this great news? A being much more powerful than us has observed both subjects. It seems that both warriors are extremely dangerous for all universes. But Daishenkin-sama, both subjects have fought for their ideals. They are the only thing Goku wants is to become more powerful, and Jiren wants to revive his family. I agree with God Champa. Even though I'm not his guardian angel, my sister Vados has trained him in a great way to know about good and evil. This is not a request. It's an order. Both subjects must be annihilated or we'll all die without being able to do anything. All the gods were silent for a few minutes, however the god Beerus would take a step in front of everyone. I fear the power of my warrior, but I'll not be the one to lead him into a trap or betray him. You, Zeno-sama, can erase me if you wish, but I'll not participate in this. I never thought I would say the same thing, but don't count on me either. I won't betray Jiren. If that's what you both have decided, you'll be eliminated at this very moment. No, Dai. Just leave them on the verge of death. And at this very moment, teleport Goku and Jiren to a planet where they'll be able to defend themselves. Sir, wouldn't it be better to finish them off without them noticing us? Betraying my best friend feels like scum. At least let them defend themselves. Daishenkin would obey the king of everything he had ordered. At that moment of raising one of his arms, Jiren, who was meditating, would appear on a planet as well as Goku, who was training. Both subjects were surprised. Hey, what's happening? I was training. Something bad is about to happen. I could feel it in the air. Daishenkin would appear in front of the two guys. Goku Saiyan from Universe 7 and Jiren from Universe 11. Both of you will be eliminated when you break the rule of exceeding the power of a destroyer god. Goku would be very surprised by what Daishenkin said, but apparently there's such good warriors that even their gods refuse to participate in this hunt. At that moment, Beerus and Vermouth were on the ground very badly wounded and on the verge of death. At that moment that Goku would approach, Daishenkin would have turned them into ashes. Why are you doing this, Daishenkin-sama? Does my friend Zeno-sama know? Of course I know, Goku, but the decision has already been made. Gods, attack! All the remaining gods went to attack since they knew that if they refused, they would be annihilated quickly. Goku at that moment would pass to the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, increase 20 times, while Jiren would increase his power to the maximum. We're not going to die so easily. You must be able to defeat us. I won't let them finish me off without avenging my family first. Both subjects began to exchange blows with the gods. However, it was noticed that Goku was most injured. That's right, Goku was able to overcome the gods when he activated the Ultra Instinct with the Superior Saiyan Blue, but still no match for the gods. Son Goku, concentrate. You're capable of activating that state again, otherwise we'll die on this planet. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Vegeta would feel the immense power of Goku. This isn't training. Kakarot's power is overflowing. He's about to die. Vegeta would summon Shenron at that moment. As Bulma had the 7 Dragon's Balls, he wasted no time in doing it. Tell me, what is your wish? I wish that you'd teleport me to where Kakarot's fighting. At that moment, Shenron's eyes would shine and Vegeta had disappeared from that place. When Vegeta arrived, he would observe Kakarot being tortured by some of the gods. While Jiren was only able to defend himself, Vegeta would remember the words of his master Whis and the god Beerus. Flashback. Vegeta, you possess a little bit of evil in your heart, but it will be impossible for you to achieve the Ultra Instinct. You will be able to achieve the Ultra Ego. The Ultra Ego is a state beyond a destructive god. You dominate the destructive energy in its totality. And flashback. Vegeta at that moment would enter a state of anger. Beginning to increase all his power, the gods would notice the sane Vegeta. At that moment, 2 of them would go to attack. However, the purple aura would drive them away. That's right, Vegeta was accessing his new transformation. After a great curtain of smoke, you could see the Prince of the Saiyans in his Ultra Ego transformation. This power is incredible. I can't believe it. I feel that I'm able to finish with any subject that's put in front of me. Finish with the life of that Saiyan in the same way. So I was right. It wasn't a training session. They really want to end the life of Kakarot and Jiren's insect. Vegeta at that instant, without wasting time, would launch a powerful attack towards Goku, which the gods would receive most of the damage to be holding it. Goku would fall to the ground badly wounded. Kakarot, it's not your time to take a break. So stand up like an honorable Saiyan that you are. 2 of the gods would go again against Son Goku. However, Goku at that moment was able to dodge both blows. That's right, Goku had accessed the perfect Ultra Instinct with which he began to end the lives of the gods. After approximately 45 minutes of battle, the only god that remained alive was Champa. But to everyone's surprise, Daishenkin would end his life with a lightning bolt. We don't need cowardly gods. We will call new gods, and they'll be more powerful. As they turn out to be a nuisance, they'll be condemned to the dimension of the fallen kings. Daishenkin at that moment would begin to approach the 2 subjects, but without wasting time. The 3 warriors attached and attacked, but in vain since the power Daishenkin surpassed them by dozens of times. Or is it better to end his life? Vegeta, realizing that Daishenkin had already invoked the portal of the dimension, thought quickly. That dimension's similar to the time room, so I'm 100% sure Kakarot's insect and Jiren would get out of that place. All the warriors would continue to give shrapnel of blows to Daishinkan, however they weren't able to give him a scratch. At that moment, Vegeta would communicate telepathically with Jiren. Jiren, go to the dimension that this guy says, because if he kills you, no one will be able to revive you. In that place, you have a better chance of living. Saiyan by the name of Vegeta, are you going to sacrifice yourself? Of course I am, Insect. If Kakarot falls at battlefield, no one will be able to stop these guys. At that moment, Jiren, with the help of his visual power, would create a great light, which would leave Daishinkan without vision for a few seconds. At that moment, Jiren would take Goku with his maximum power, entering that portal. When Daishinkan regained his sight, he'd observe how the Prince of the Saiyans was carrying a bestial power. I'll not die without scratching you. Let's see if you're able to withstand an explosion of all my power. Sorry, Bulma, Trunks, my little daughter. I hope to see you again soon. At that moment, a great explosion would be created in the entire planet where they were. The explosion was so devastating to be with Hawkeye energy that was even able to make Daishinkan bleed. That's right, at that moment, the last scream of the Prince of the Saiyans was able to be heard throughout the universe. The proud warrior who gave his life for his rival and a warrior of the Universe 11 had disappeared. At the moment of finishing the explosion, which would leave no trace of the Saiyan Prince, Daishinkan would appear with a few wounds, but nothing serious. So, both subjects have decided to enter the dimension of the Fallen Kings. That'll be much worse, since they have chosen death. At the moment, Daishinkan and both Zeno-samas would return to their palace. Meanwhile, in the dimension, both had arrived to a completely white place, very similar to the Room of Time. But the pressure that this place emanated was extremely incredible, being so much that even for Goku and Jiren it was very difficult to move. Why the hell did you do that, Vegeta? I swear I'll avenge your death. Those bastards will pay for it. Only if you can get out of this place, because the pressure of the powers that we're feeling are extremely terrifying. This is a good place to die, but it's also a perfect place to become warriors of great power. I agree with you, Goku. It's time for the most powerful mortals of the 12 universes to break through the barrier and ascend to the divine world. Goku and Jiren had arrived at the dimension to which Zeno-sama had sent them. That's right, both warriors had been sealed in the dimension of the Fallen Kings. In this dimension, they were sent to the kings of the whole that contained a power similar to a creator god, and they were also very bloodthirsty. Damn it! We haven't met any of the kings of the whole, but the pressure of this simple place crushes me. That doesn't matter. You're Goku. We must be able to resist and get out of this damn place. Because if we die here, the Vegeta Saiyan will have died in vain. We'll not allow that. We'll avenge Vegeta's death. Goku and Jiren at that moment, they were about to start fighting to increase their powers and make their bodies more resistant. A guy would appear in front of both of them, who were not able to see who it was since the speed of which he had arrived was incredible. What the hell was that? Was it a rock or a person? At that moment, a great curtain of fire spread all over the place. A female voice came from the fire. Well, well, what do we have here? Is this something you don't see every day? How interesting. Mortals that surpass the power of a destructive god are sealed in this place. Who are you? How do you have so much speed? Honey, I'm the one taking the questions here, not you. For that lack of respect, I'll make you suffer a little bit. Towa, in a matter of milliseconds, had given millions of hit to Jiren, who had not been able to see anything. He would only fall to the ground. Goku had been very surprised, and having activated the Ultra Instinct, he would throw himself against that woman. The demon named Towa would not move from the same place. She had only dodged each one of his blows. However, when she wanted to hit him, she would be a little surprised. When she realized that the guy had dodged her blow while Towa dodged each one of Son Goku's blows, she would start talking to him. So a mortal is capable of dominating the Ultra Institute to its maximum expression. This seems more and more interesting to me. But a candidate for the Queen of Everything is capable of this. Towa at that moment would increase her speed 500 times more, with which she was able to give Goku some blows. Superficially, they looked like normal blows, but they had stopped the flow of energy from all his veins. The fact that you have the Ultra Instinct doesn't make you untouchable.
I only need to overcome the reaction speed of your own body, and with that, it'll be much easier for me to finish you.
Jiren at that moment would be very difficult for him to stand up. I don't care if you're a candidate for the queen at all. We don't plan to die without taking revenge on those bastards. Jiren, in spite of being very hurt and on the verge of death, would launch again to an attack, being knocked out with a single blow. Goku at that moment on the ground and on the verge of death would be able to observe Vegeta.
I'm sorry, Vegeta. I won't be able to avenge you. I'm sorry, Saiyan Prince.
You don't have to worry, Kakarot. Today is not the day of your death. Towa was approaching both of them with the intention of absorbing all their powers. However, at that moment, a much more terrifying pressure would appear in front of them. That's right, leaving Goku out of combat. That's right, the pressure of a Saiyan that had surpassed the combat mode of a king was amazing. That's right, the Saiyan King had appeared in front of Towa, who would recognize him immediately.
Yamoshi-sama, what are you supposed to do in this place? You're an honorable warrior, and you never interfere in the territories of other kings.
You're right, Towa. How can I let you wipe out my offspring?
No matter who they are, the rules are clear, and they are for everyone. No matter who you are, so in the most polite way, I ask you to please leave. I don't want to fight.
So after thousands of years, you think you're powerful enough to fight me? Don't make me laugh. You're still a piece of trash compared to me. Towa angrily launched into an attack, managing to land a sneaky punch on Yamoshi's face.
How about that? I was so fast that he didn't even have time to react.
Towa's smile would be erased from her face as she observed how Yamoshi had not moved a single centimeter. That's right, Towa's powerful blow had not been able to move Yamoshi even a millimeter. In this instant, I'll make you remember the fear that you had on me millions of years ago. I hope you're prepared, Towa. Yamoshi at that moment would begin to increase his power. Even loud screams could be heard all around. Powerful Saiyan King Yamoshi was raising his battle level so high that he was able to make the dimension itself collapse. That's enough. If you can withstand fighting with my 25% power and you can withstand for 10 minutes, you can do whatever you want with these Saiyans.
Don't underestimate you bastard. Use all your power. I was a candidate for Queen of Everything, so I won't let you play with me.
Yamoshi at that moment would contact a powerful blow to her stomach, which was about to fall to the ground, but Yamoshi would hold her head. You're a candidate for Queen of Everything. I was the King of Everything, who was able to overcome the barrier between a king and a creator god. You know that I was feared, even by the highest level creator gods, so you have no chance against me. Yamoshi at that moment would charge a large sphere of energy, throwing it at Towa, which would quickly take distance and launch a beam of energy. The clash of both attacks was incredible, but the distance was noticeable, since Yamoshi was just playing with Towa. Just because I don't want to kill you, I'll let you attack me, as I'm aware that your attack won't be able to do anything to me. The powerful combined attack of your attack and Towa's attack would hit him directly.
That's what you get for underestimating me, you bastard! So die for being a miserable, disgusting insect!
Throughout the smoke screen, a laugh would ring out. Ha 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 ha! Did you think you could beat me because of your power? Remember that you're nothing compared to me. Yamoshi at that moment would give her a strong blow to her neck, leaving her out of combat. At that moment of approaching both subjects, he would realize that both possessed an impressive power, having the potential to overcome a king of all. However, he would realize that inside the body of Goku, a powerful compared to a king of all, with its maximum power, even the cursed techniques was not able to defeat him. That's right, the power that Goku hid was incredible. This Saiyan's very interesting. Trained properly, he'll be the one to destroy this whole dimension, which was created by the power of the four gods. Yamoshi would take both subjects, leaving his territory, because in spite of Yamoshi being the most powerful subject of that dimension, there were beings that if joined together were able to even put Yamoshi into great trouble. At that moment of arriving to the destination, Yamoshi would transmit them a little of his power. However, both warriors did not wake up, but Yamoshi, having much more experience than both, would know that both warriors were already completely healed. So Yamoshi would hit them with a bestial force in their stomachs, making them both wake up with a strong pain.
Ouch! What happened? Where are we? Are we dead?
I doubt that we're dead because the pressure still remains and that blow gave us was merciless. You're right, you're not dead. You're still sealed in the dimension of the fallen kings. To get out of this place, you must increase your power to the limit.
Are you a Saiyan? This is incredible! So, how did you end up in this place?
It's a long story and that's no time for that. So I hope you're ready, because from now on I'll personally train you.
I appreciate that you saved us, but the power you emanate's not that powerful. Even the woman from before surpasses you. Even I think I'm capable of defeating you. Yamoshi, without saying a word, was able to make Jiren feel agonizing pain.
You can't feel my pressure or presence because I don't want you to, but my power is much greater than the power of Towa that possesses.
Goku would be very surprised to know that such a powerful warrior would train them. Yamoshi would stop releasing all his pressure, making Jiren able to move again.
Now that you know how great my power is, I hope you don't trust me because I'll make you suffer like you had no idea. Attack! I'll not use my pressure.
Goku and Jiren went on the attack. Goku at that moment was able to access the Ultra Instinct again, starting to fight against Yamoshi. Meanwhile, outside of that dimension, Daishinkan had gathered the Super Dragon Balls, reviving all the Destroyer Gods, but this time with a small change. That's right, they had been revived with negative energy and hatred towards mortals.
Gods, you know what your mission is, to finish with every being that is a threat to our multiverse.
As you command, Daishinkan-sama, Zeno-sama.
All the gods would leave to their universes, beginning to finish with each warrior that they believed to be a danger. At that moment, a warrior of the race of Frieza would appear in front of all. At that moment of doing it, all the beings of the kingdom of the whole would make a bow.
Sir Ryui, what is the honor of having you in our multiverse?
I come to congratulate you since you have successfully sealed both subjects. With this, we will return to be the best multiverse, and we will finish with all the beings that get in the way.
I'm very happy that we have done our job well.
Very soon, I'll be able to regain my omnipotence and omnipresence to become a creator god again.
Any other requests you have, sir?
For now, there are none. Just keep everything under control, since the last creator gods are about to wake up. Try to keep everything going as it has been so far.
You don't have to worry about that, Ryui-sama. We'll do it perfectly.
I count on you, because if you fail, I myself will take care of finishing you simple worms.
A golden light would leave all over that multiverse. That's right, this guy named Ryui was responsible for sealing of both warriors.
My lord, Ryui's power is so great that even if we had revealed ourselves, he would have killed each one of us. I know, Dai, but I feel like scum for betraying my best friend, and even injecting negative energy into the spiritual sea of each destroyer god.
Returning to the dimension of the kings, both subjects were fighting with King Yamoshi. However, in that time they had been training, they were not able to give him any blow. That's right, Yamoshi's speed was much faster than both subjects.
That's all for today. If we want their power to increase, they must also have rest.
Meanwhile, with Towa, she had already recovered by returning to her territory. However, she was furious at being completely humiliated, but at that moment, a great energy would stand in front of her.
Do you want to have the necessary power to kill Yamoshi? Accept this power. You won't regret it.
I don't care what it is. I want to finish with that damned Yamoshi. I won't let him make fun of me. A great amount of energy would begin to enter Towa's body, which would begin to scream all over the place, since the power that it gave off was incredible. So much was the power that even her body would explode for some dozens of times. But the energy of before was in charge of restoring it. After hundreds of explosions, Towa would appear. This power is amazing. This is the power of a creator god. In a part of all that dimension, an extremely incredible power had appeared. However, in a few seconds it had disappeared again. That's right, the power of Towa had been felt by all the fallen kings, and it would call the attention of Yamoshi, who would change his expression to a very serious and cold one.
The power that was felt a few seconds ago was an incredible power. Even with my maximum power, I don't know if I could defeat that power.
Is something wrong? Your work has changed completely.
No, it's nothing to worry about. but you must become much more powerful. The power that you now possess is comparable to that of a guardian angel. That's not enough. We must break all our limits to be able to finish off all the bastards who made fun of us. At that moment in Goku's mind, he was able to observe Zeno-sama. That's right, out of the dimension, Zeno-sama had used some mental power to contact Goku. Friend Goku, I know you must hate me now, but you don't want anything to do with me, and you really had no choice. I feel like scum for doing this to you.
My friend Zeno! But tell me, what happened? Why did you do all this? What do you mean you had no choice?
Above us, there are the kings of everything who have been able to take their power to the limit. But even above them, there are the creator gods, which are also divided into scales of power.
Are you implying that a creator god has given the order to finish us off?
That's right. And if we refuse it, they would destroy all 12 universes. I'm so sorry, my friend. For that reason, I've decided to abandon 75% of all my power. Only you can finish with the new enemies that are approaching. Despite being in another dimension, a power would begin to enter all over Goku's body. That's right, Goku's power was growing rapidly. Even with Zeno-sama's power, Goku was able to access his Ozaru form without the need of his tail. But while he was in transition, his tail would appear. That's right, Goku was destroying everything around him. However, he was able to observe Zeno-sama in the middle of all his destruction. My friend Goku, I trust you with my power. I'm so sorry, you only deserve to be a king at all.
Goku in that instant would regain consciousness by accessing the Super Saiyan Phase 4, but his hair was an angelic silver color, leaving Yamoshi and Jiren surprised, since Son Goku's power had increased in an amazing way.
Goku's power has increased too much. I can't even calculate it. But with that power, he's capable of defeating a king in his fighting form.
Goku in that instant would throw a great sphere of energy towards Jiren. That's right, Zeno-sama, knowing that he was with Goku, had also sent some power to Jiren. Not as much as to Goku, but Jiren in the same way began to increase his power in such an incredible way that it would make everything around him tremble. That's right, the power that he was releasing was equally amazing. Unlike Goku, Jiren was not having any transformation in his body, was dominating all that power. However, he was becoming much slower because of the excess energy.
The power is incredible, but I feel as heavy as a planet, and since I don't have the ability to transform, it's much more difficult. You don't have to worry about that, since that's what I'm training them for. I don't know where they got so much power from, but it's time to start training beyond a king at all.
The three subjects began to have a great battle, which was capable of shaking some territories of the other kings. Meanwhile, with Toa, she was training in the same way to be able to dominate all the power of that energy. This power is incredible! So this is the power of a creator god. I'll finish with those damn trash.
You're not ready yet. Believe it or not, the being that killed my body was that damned Yamoshi. He's not lying when he said that he had all the creator gods were afraid of his power.
Is his power even capable of killing a creator god?
That's right. The power of that Saiyan is difficult to understand, despite fighting for hours, days, weeks. His power, instead of decreasing, increased as the battle went on.
This time it'll be very different. I'll do it for you, Master, and also out of pride. I'll not forgive you for the beating you gave me last time.
If you really want to do it, you must take your body to the limit. Because with the power you have now, Yamoshi is still able to finish you without any effort.
Toa at that moment would continue training, knowing that he still lacked the power to be able to make the Saiyan King bite the ground. Returning to the trio of subjects, Goku and Jiren with their new power, they were already able to face Yamoshi. That's right, Yamoshi, despite using his maximum power at his base state, was difficult keeping up with the both of them. What's wrong? Is all that power of a Saiyan King? Jiren would be a little surprised by Goku's words because even though he had increased his power too much, there was still no match for Yamoshi in one-to-one combat.
I can see by possessing all that beastly power, you think you could defeat me, but let's see what you think of this.
Yamoshi at that moment would begin to increase his power in an incredible way, making everything around him tremble. Yamoshi's power was even perceived by the other fallen kings. The moment Yamoshi was accessing 50% of his glorious power, that's right, at that instant Yamoshi's hair would turn a silver color, as well as his eyes, which would leave Goku and Jiren surprised to realize that Yamoshi had access to Ultra Instinct.
You should feel lucky, since I was the one who created the Ultra Instinct. In short, my Ultra Instinct is the original one.
Goku would be very surprised to hear what Yamoshi said. Goku and Jiren, without caring about what Yamoshi said, would throw themselves against him. But this time, the difference in their powers was as big as the sky and the earth. That's right, Goku and Jiren, despite having all that great power, this time were not able to do what Yamoshi said. This time, they were not able to make a scratch on Yamoshi, who, after a few hits, would leave them wounded on the ground. Goku, despite having the Ultra Instinct in his transformation from Super Saiyan Phase 4, was not able to dodge all of the blows of Yamoshi.
That's all for today. Your powers are growing exponentially fast, so you should take a break and get your energy up.
Goku and Jiren would begin to rest that day. Meanwhile, outside that dimension, Ryui was very desperate because for a being that was lost omnipotence, it was worse than losing their life.
Damn it! If I'm not able to do something, I'll be left without my omnipotence. I have to hurry up on this. I think it's time to absorb all those damned ones.
Meanwhile, with Zeno-sama, he was very worried because he had a bad feeling about Ryui.
Die. I want you to store 90% of your power in that sphere of divine energy.
But sir,
If I do that, I won't have enough power to be able to defend us. Even if you have 100% of your power, you'll never be able to confront Ryui. Trust me, Daishinken.
Alright, my lord. Whatever you say.
At that moment, Daishinken would begin to empty all his veins of energy, passing 90% of all his power to the sphere that the king had told him. After only 10 minutes of having finished, Ryui would appear in the Kingdom of the Whole.
Ryui-sama, what's the reason for your visit in the multiverse? They have excellent subordinates, but now that they have finished with that plague, they're no longer useful to me. I'll keep their powers.
Ryui would throw himself against Daishinken, starting a battle, which clearly showed who had the advantage. At the moment, both Guardians would launch an attack, and both Xeno-samas, with the power they had left, would merge in access to their form of combat. All were fighting against a single subject, but the result would be the same. So it is, from one moment to another, Ryui would begin to give some great blows to each one of those present, leaving them on the verge of death.
Before they die, I want to keep all their powers. I'll create the world that everyone wants. I'll finish with the creator gods and I'll access the Sheikah galaxy, place of the true gods, and not beings like you.
Ryui at that moment would begin to absorb the power of each one of those present. Nevertheless, while Ryui absorbed Zeno-sama, Daishinken would communicate with all the gods telepathically.
Gods, I know at this moment all you possess in negative energy, but you must trust us. Abandon all your power and explode, because if you don't, Ryu will kill you and end your power.
And Father, will we do the same, or is our destroyer gods?
All of you, create energy spheres with a meeting point in the realm of all. My energy being more powerful than yours will absorb it and search for a worthy warrior.
Understood, Father. In this instant, we'll do it. Ryuji at that moment had finished the life of Zeno-sama, and his guardians at the moment of heading towards Daishinken was also filling all his spiritual sea, thanks to the power of Daishinken. However, before Daishinken remained, if his vital energy would curse him and affirm that an extremely powerful subject would avenge them.
Ha ha ha! No one has enough power to face me. Now it's time to absorb all the gods and angels.
The moment Ryui began to move all through the universes, every god would begin to explode. That's right, the gods had fulfilled Daishinken's last order.
Damned priest, they don't believe that because you don't have the power of simple gods and angels you'll be able to defeat me. There are more multiverses and temporal lines.
Ryui, furious, would rise to the top of that multiverse, creating a great attack, which would have enough power to erase all the multiverse of Zeno-sama. That's right, a gigantic megaversal explosion was able to be appreciated by all the other kings of the whole.
After millions of years, a megaversal explosion has happened again. Who was the guy that had enough power to blow up the entire multiverse?
The annihilation of a multiverse? Has a creator god awakened? The other kings would not give any comment on the matter. Meanwhile, returning to the dimension, Goku, who was meditating at that moment, would fall to the ground to his base state. That's right, he felt like an incredible power was crushing him, and he was right. The power of the High Priest, the 12 angels, and the 12 gods was entering his body.
Yamoshi at that instant would quickly approach Goku, but Goku's body began to expel rays of energy, and at that very moment began to expel an extremely impressive power, leaving all the fallen kings surprised, which would be surprised by the power they felt.
What's happening, Goku? It is the power beyond a king, but it's too early.
Goku would continue to increase his power like never before, accessing the Ultra Institute again, but this time his power was so much that it would make even Yamoshi tremble. What will happen next? Find out in the next chapter. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.
Try going.